On today's Andy and Ari On3, Brett McMurphy joins us, and we got to decide who ranted better, Dabo Swinney or Brian Kelly. Plus, it is Megaboard Wednesday, and we have plenty of Megaboard threads to sift through from the beautiful, delicious On3 Megaboard. We've got a Notre Dame one that we have to talk about, and of course, we've got a Florida one we have to talk about. Plus, Brett's got some trivia for us. Can I come back, or will Ari thump me again? All that and more on today's Andy and Ari on 3. We are presented by BetMGM, and if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code CFB, as in college football, CFB, and you'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app. Sign up using the bonus code CFB. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure to use the bonus code CFB when you sign up. Now, if you've already signed up for BetMGM, we got something for you too. On September 19th and 20th, so Friday and Saturday, we got a college football parlay boost token. No matter where the college football action is, there's nothing like getting in the game and leveling up your next parlay. Use this parlay boost token to boost your potential payout from a winning college football parlay. We also, on Friday and Saturday, the 19th and the 20th, have a college football odds boost token. It's time to zero in on every snap. Activate your odds boost token on any college football bet, and you'll receive a bigger payout if your bet wins. So make this college football season one for the history books. Make it legendary with BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. U.S. promotional offers are not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. Call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa or 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code CFB and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Welcome to Andy and Ari on 3, and it is a Megaboard Wednesday. That's right. If you are a member of On3, you have access to the Megaboard. That is the compilation of the best threads from across our dozens of team sites, message boards. It is the best place to follow college football. One-stop shopping. Obviously, if you're not a member of On3, you can fix that very quickly. Get your first week for $1 and get a year of The Athletic with that. Ari Wasserman, the message boards are popping this week.
Dude, I'm mixing it up right now on Husker Online, believe it or not. You know, I'm in there.
I believe it. You told me you were going to post your Dylan Raiola column on Husker Online. I was like, Hard, those people hate you.
There's some people that don't like me in there, but there's some people that were receptive. Part of this job, I think, is to take the medicine when people are upset with you and to mix it up. And it's football, guys. Like, we're not
hearts and minds, baby. Hearts and minds.
Yeah. That's the thing that football fans have that people in politics don't. We can have a discussion, right? I don't know.
That's exactly right. Ari, we got to bring in our friend Brett McMurphy from On3 because we need someone else. We needed a third person for this particular assignment today. Hi, Brett. How we doing?
Good to see you guys. Good.
So this is going to be a fun one. I'm going to start with a thread because it's Megaboard Wednesday. So we're going through the Megaboard, looking at the best threads. I'm going to start with a thread from Larry Williams, who is the guru over at Tiger Illustrated. That is our Clemson site. Larry is the dean of Clemson beat writers. He is the best at his job. And during the press conference with Dabo Swinney yesterday, Larry posted this: Dabo on a heater. And it's just a list of quotes from Dabo, who did not need Tyler from Spartanburg to tee him up this time. He just sort of went off. Remember, Clemson just lost to Georgia Tech. They're about to play Syracuse. And Dabo said, here's one quote. If we stink because we haven't played for a national championship since 2020, I guess we stink. But why are we held to a different standard than these other programs? I'm not going to say these myself because I don't do a good Dabo Swinney impression. Let's let Dabo do it. Here's Dabo.
Perspective is important. So if they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we're a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. This is a program built to last, always has been, always will be. And I would just say if you give up on us if you don't believe in us because we've lost 2 games down to the last straight and you didn't believe in us anyway, so it don't matter. You wasn't all in anyway. If you're all in, you burn the ships, man. There ain't no exit strategy. Like, you're freaking all in. And hey, listen, I mean, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, but I'm gonna go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go. Y'all gonna have to deal with me for a while. I got a long way to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just now good enough to be a head coach. I'm just now figuring it out. So we'll be around a while.
Okay, first of all, Clemson fans, you are full-time fans because every time your team loses, your coach yells at you. So enjoy a Modelo because you are full-time fans. But Brett, we've got you here because we want you to help us judge between this rant and the rant from Brian Kelly immediately after the Florida game. But let's start here because there's so much to unpack with that Dabo Swinney rant because it's we've been really successful. We keep winning. And it ends on, I'll go somewhere else and win. And I ain't retiring anytime soon.
I am sympathetic to any rant where the head coach references his age. Gundy started it with I'm a man, I'm 40. Dabo throws in the I'm 55 line. Anytime a coach says how old he is, bonus points for that rant. Absolutely. I agree with everything he's saying, 100%. But
guilting the fan base every time you lose is I don't know. I don't know how long that plays.
Well, and then I wonder how thin-skinned is he? There's no heat on Dabo. Are people unhappy? Yeah. I mean, Texas fans are booing Arch Manning. I mean, that's just the way things are now. Doesn't make it right. That's how it is. Maybe sometimes Dabo has rabbit ears and picks up different things, and he thinks everybody should be 100% on board 24/7. And unfortunately, that's not college football fans today. But no, I love the I'm 55 reference, though. Absolutely love that.
I'll pour the gas on this fire. Okay.
Go for it.
My life goal is to be at the beach when I'm 55. So for you, he just took a dump on my entire life's goal. 2, this is what I think I sent this to Andy or someone else yesterday, but my wife comes into the room and she says, there's no romance in our marriage anymore. You don't take me on dates. And I said, well, what about the dates that we went on 7 of the last 10 years? We've done that. We've gone on a date 7 of the last 10 years, and I'm not done dating. But you can kick me out of here if you're tired of dating. I'll go date somebody else. I'm 38. That is what that sounded like to me. And it's on one hand, Dabo is unequivocally one of the most decorated, if not the most decorated current coach, because not only has he played in 4 national title games, he's won 2 of them, and he built a program that was good into an elite one. That said, how much welfare do you get, not just with Dabo, but for any coach? How long can you slip from your standard before you're held accountable for slipping from that standard? He created a standard of excellence. He should be celebrated for that. They were a national championship contender every year. The last 3 or 4 years, I've got a bad memory. I think it's been 4, but it's at least 3. Clemson has been good, but not great. How long does Dabo get to do this before the actual complaints that he's yelling about become warranted? That's the question. How much welfare does winning buy any coach? How much time do you get? I don't know the answer to that. Maybe it's different
in this day and age. You don't get much, and that's the thing. Dabo has created the expectation that they're going to win the ACC every year, and now what they're staring down the barrel of is not winning the ACC, which they were staring that down last year, but then they ended up winning it. So I don't know though if they can handle another conference loss and even play for the conference title game, because of the way the league might shake out this year. So
what if they lose in the ACC again next year? He could say, we've won it 8 out of the last 12, 8 out of the last 13. When does that stat stop being important?
All right. I think Dabo's a unique situation. I'm certainly not a Dabo defender, but I mean, look at Clemson before Dabo got there and look at it now. And I look at Clemson, and this is not a knock on Clemson. What is Clemson after Dabo leaves? Are they Butler after Brad Stevens? Are they Indiana after Bobby Knight? I don't know. I think that's a realistic.
Are they Florida without Steve Spurrier or Urban Meyer? Are they USC without John Robinson or Pete Carroll? This is
I mean that's a legit thing. And so I'm sure he's looking back at the last 10 years, whatever, and he's remembering, hey, when I just got here, we were lucky to put on not put 2 left shoes on our feet and run the right way and all that stuff, and then they're winning national championships. And now, I mean, again, it's the same everywhere. Once you reach a certain level, whether it's win a conference title, whether it's get to the playoff, whether it's win a national title, if you don't reach that level every year, it's viewed as a disappointment. Is that fair? No, but that's the reality of the way fans look at it. But Ari, I love your spiel to your wife. I'm gonna use that, because I'm gonna say, look, honey, I took out the garbage 7 of the last 10 weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
the other weeks were pretty smelly, but
that's what it sounded like to me, though. Like, and while also acknowledging how great he's been. Like, you can acknowledge it and also be like, this is with your wife or your guard. Like, listen, if you don't take out the garbage next week, it doesn't matter if you took it out 51 of the last 52. It's not your wife's job to take the garbage to the curb. But they're also not going 2-10. They're still going to bowl games. They're just not getting the playoff and or winning a national championship. But if you were to ask Dabo himself, what do you find is a successful season for Clemson? Is his answer to win the ACC, or is it to compete for a national championship? And I think if you're not reaching the head coach's own goals, then at a certain point you have to be accountable for that. That's all. Like, I'm not saying they should fire him or that, but like, these rants are triggered by a resentment from the head coach that people could possibly be upset with him. And I don't know if you get to live in a world where you're a head coach of a program that has gotten a taste of competing at the highest level. They've had a prolonged slip from that, and they're upset about it. Like, I don't think that he's right about this.
As Don Draper always says, that's what the money's for. Like, you're compensated handsomely. Part of it is part of the reason you're compensated handsomely is when things go bad, they're real bad and people get really mad at you. Like, that is just part of the job. And so he's created this monster himself, and now he has to deal with it. But it's not an unfair criticism right now, because you are supposed to be a national title contender. Now, I know that Dabo was actually a little bit irked at how much we pumped up Clemson in the offseason, not just you and me, Ari, but everybody. He didn't necessarily think that they were national title good.
I thought he leaned into the expectations pretty good when he was on our show. I thought I've
heard privately he was somewhat irked that it was maybe a bit much, and
okay,
we'll see. But that brings us to our other rant, because this rant starts with maybe a journalism lecture, but it ends with an expectations discussion. And I think that's what makes it interesting. But before we get to that, I want to tell you about Huel, the Huel Black Edition powder. I throw it in the bottle with some water. I shake it up. Chocolate. 27 vitamins and minerals. 40 grams of protein. the most complete meal I can get quickly, on the go, when I need it. My wife loves them. My kids love them. Also, you get the Huel Daily Greens here. So this is 42 vitamins, minerals, and superfoods, super greens, adaptogens, lion's mane mushroom, 4 grams of fiber, electrolytes, all in one can to start your day. Huel is the world's #1 complete nutrition. Use the promo code STAPLES15 to get 15% off your first order of $75 or more, plus a free gift. Start now. You will not regret it. Huel is the #1 complete nutrition in the world. Use the code STAPLES15, 15% off your first purchase, 75 or more, plus a free gift. All right, let us talk Brian Kelly, because this thing starts with, how do you ask questions in a press conference? How do you order your questions in a press conference? But it takes a turn as you go. So here is Brian Kelly immediately after the Florida game Saturday night.
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Coach Deshaun Spears, 2 interceptions tonight. It seems like he's worked into a role on an
That's a
role
great
on,
question. Thank you.
It seems like he's worked into a role on third downs in particular.
And you know why? Because he's been grinding. He's been grinding. Every single day he comes in and he's looking for an opportunity to get on the field.
I had to leave the second question in there. That's a great question. But
so I was thinking of really funny, because when I watched the clip, I was thinking, like, what could have been a really funny follow-up to the first one? Like, Coach, you guys really struggled on third down tonight. Like,
exactly.
Like, hit him again with it. Like, you didn't even hear what he said. Let me ask you guys this, because you are more seasoned reporters than I am. If he would have, so we've all been in post-game news conferences before, and if you're a beat writer specifically and you have a specific question or an article that you're working on, you only get one shot at it. Whether they call on you first, in the middle, or at the end, you only get one shot to ask what you're writing about. So if he would have just said, hey, Coach, I realize you guys just won the game. Congratulations. I regret that I'm the first person that got called on, but I have to ask the question.
Yeah. Oh, so I'll point out Michael Koppel, who asked the question. He's the sports director at WBRZ. Brian Kelly apologized to him multiple times on Monday. So remember that too. But in this scenario, and Brett, you've been in this a million times too, where there is a tough question that needs to be asked, but it's tough because they just won an emotional game. Like if you get called on first and you know it's your only shot, you got to butter him up a little bit. You got to be like, well, I know the defense was awesome, blah, blah, blah. You can't go right in with what's wrong. Why can't you run the ball? Even though it's a perfectly legitimate question. It's just a matter of the order.
Yeah, I don't. If you're only going to have one question, which when I saw that clip, I didn't think of that already. Like, okay, you only have one question, and you get called on first. Obviously, you wait to ask that question later on, or you take a chance and
like 4
go
or
with
5 questions in. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can ask the same question. You just present it in a different way, or kind of Andy, what you said with hey, I'm the first guy. I hate to ask this, but and asked the question, I think he would have responded a little bit differently. I loved where he was, he was interchanneling Herm Edwards there about we
play to win the games,
which I love that. But again, it's almost kind of like a little Dabo thing where the fans aren't happy with a certain aspect, and he's offended or pissed off about it, and obviously pushing back against the reporter. But yeah, journalism 101. If you have the opportunity, you did not ask that question out of the gate. Now you can ask it third question, fourth question, whatever. I'm not saying don't ask it. I'm just saying don't ask it straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
Now,
well, I think that the other thing that you have to acknowledge about this situation is Brian Kelly's perspective of winning a tough game in the SEC at night, and the fans' perspective of, oh my God, Florida just lost to USF and they can't run a ball against them, I think are very different spectrums. Like the coach's perspective of what that the accomplishment of that is and what the fans want to know are different. And the reporter's job is to service the fans. Okay. And if they want me, I think it's an important question, because the fans aren't going to be like, wow, how about us beating Florida? How about us? Look at us. They think that they're number one or number two in the country right now, and they're trying to figure out why it took 4 quarters of you to get a positive run that impacted the game. And you want to ask and write about the things that people are talking about, and people are talking about that. So if the timing is unfortunate, there's no question about it. I think that if you have a preamble to your question and you are respectful about it, congratulations on the win. I know it's hard to win games in the SEC. That said, a lot of fans are wondering, or something like that, just to acknowledge that they won. That might not have drawn the same reaction, but at the same time, the questions, in my opinion, are a vessel to get interesting responses, and that's a really interesting response.
It's a great response. That's the one thing I said is, like, no matter what, you got what you wanted. You got a soundbite. Now, I want to go to the back half of it, because that's what I think is more interesting when he's talking about you guys are spoiled, and he's talking to the beat writers probably, but also to the fans through the beat writers. The you guys are spoiled. What do you expect? Well, they expect a national title.
Yeah.
It's year 4. Yeah. Your 2 predecessors won a national title by year 4. So they expect a national title. 3 predecessors. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Orgeron, Miles, and Saban all won a national title by year 4. They expect a national title. To pretend you didn't know that when you took the job would be disingenuous. You knew that. So why does it seem surprising to you now that they expect the thing that you actually took the job because they expect?
I think part of it is, take, you want for all these hot seat lists early in the season. But, there was some stuff about Brian, not necessarily he's on the hot seat, but kind of what you referenced, the last 3 coaches at LSU had won a national championship by year 4. This is his year. He's won 29 games in the last 3 years at LSU.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But not the perception, but it's just like, okay, you've won 29 games, but you haven't won a national championship. Yeah. What's wrong? What's wrong?
And 0 playoff appearances. Yeah, exactly. So that's the expectation. And I think he left Notre Dame to go to a place where they've won national titles recently because he felt like maybe Notre Dame had some institutional impediments to winning it and LSU didn't. But with that, you get the expectation, you get the pressure, and it's interesting because you talked about them being 17-1 at night under Brian Kelly at Tiger Stadium. You know what my first thought was? Oh my God, that one was awful, because it was the Alabama game last year. And I guarantee you that's the first thing the LSU fans thought when he said that too. Guaranteed.
I'm with you, Andy. I'm with you. I think that if you adopt, that's not a right word. If you spoil your child, then your child is spoiled. You don't yell at them for being spoiled. But
look inward.
He took the job knowing what the expectation was. In fact, I think that the most ironic part about this whole thing is that he took the job because that's the expectation. Yeah. Right? He took the job because it was a place that gave you the opportunity to do so. And I got to be honest with you, and he might not want to hear this and it might offend him. LSU did not play national championship level football. against Florida. And maybe the expectation that they would in week 3 is wrong. Not saying that, they have to, but winning that game is as big as that game, right? But like LSU's expectations this year weren't just to win the opener and, be competitive. LSU's expectations are to actually win the SEC. And that question is a mirror effect of what those expectations are. And if you're the head coach of LSU, you shouldn't be blindsided by that.
All right, boys. Now we got to vote. Who ranted better, Dabo or BK? I'll start with you, Brett McMurphy.
Man, I liked the way Brian was more vocal, attacking. He was on the attack.
Yeah.
But I got to give it to Dabo for referencing the age. That's the slight edge to Dabo for pulling out the I'm 55 card.
This
Ari
is not even a debate. Dabo Swinney basically gave his own fan base an ultimatum. Like, what are we doing here? You don't love me anymore? You don't think there's romance? You don't love me anymore? Fine, I'll leave. I'll go date someone else. That's what he just said. It's not even close.
I'm with you, Ari. The threat to go somewhere else, because LSU, you can't make that threat. LSU's like, fine. The last 3 guys on the national title. If you want to leave, great.
We got 10 other guys that'll coach here.
Exactly. Yeah. Dabo threatening to leave. And also the funniest part as we go through Megaboard Wednesday is the schools that have either fired their coaches or maybe on the verge of firing their coaches, all those message boards just lit up after this, like, we'll take him. Unbelievable. Brett McMurphy, you'll be back with trivia later in the show. Ari, we have more Megaboard threads to discuss, so let us move on to Notre Dame. Ari, before we talk Notre Dame, do you want to open another pack?
Yeah.
Illuminance?
What I do love is that we got accused of getting juiced panini packs when you hit your 1 of 1. That means that things are going well.
Look at that. Yes, Patty Mahomes, 1 of 1, baby.
Is that the same box? Is that pack from the same box?
Same box.
Okay.
And it's also from the same box as the pack where we got nothing of note, the previous one, which we opened on the show. So we have proof.
Yeah.
We didn't I hope we someday become valuable enough to Panini that they do send us juice boxes if such things exist. But I'll take what I got now. All right. We are ripping this pack. So here we go. We got a Minkah Fitzpatrick base card. Kyron Williams. Natrone Means back in the day. Deron Bland. We got a numbered Jordan Addison here. Not too bad. Little numbered Jordan Addison.
He's undervalued right now.
We're about to talk Notre Dame defense. This is very convenient. Numbered autographed Xavier Watts. Xavier Watts was one of the best players on Notre Dame's defense last year as they went to the national title game. He's with the Falcons now.
Dog.
Yes. A vestige Puka Nacua. Oh, Isaac Tesla in his Arkansas uniform. I don't know that they got as much out of Isaac as they could have in Fayetteville because he's been awesome so far for the Lions. Little Emeka Ibuka.
Did you see that? Did you see that one-handed catch he had on Sunday right before halftime, right on the sideline there?
Yeah, that was Monday Night Football, baby.
Yeah, was that Monday night?
Yeah, and your favorite, Ricky White from UNLV.
I have him on my Dynasty League team. He's not producing yet, but might want to hold on to that one. I love this hobby so much. Sometimes it's rough opening packs, but sometimes it's glorious, and the glorious times are what we chase, baby. And that 101 will probably carry you through for a long time. And that Xavier Watts card, there are a lot of Notre Dame fans who probably want that. So,
heck yeah. So
it's a good auto.
Start your collection today. Visit PaniniAmerica.net. So much fun to rip packs. Absolutely so much fun. And I'm, obviously on a high after the 101 Mahomes, but that's the feeling you get. So now that we've got this Xavier Watts card, let's talk about the defense that Xavier Watts left behind. And Al Golden left it behind too. Al Golden is now the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. So they hire Chris Ash, former Rutgers head coach, former Ohio State defensive coordinator, and it's not going well defensively at Notre Dame after the Texas A&M. Here's my thing, Ari. They didn't look bad on defense against Miami. Miami's a very good team, and Miami didn't score at will on them. Texas A&M did. And I'm not sure yet, because we don't have a big enough sample size, if it's because Notre Dame's defense is bad or Texas A&M's offense is good. But it's college football, and so you get extreme reactions. So if you go to the Megaboard, you see this from Cale Mendenhall on the blue and gold message board. Who is more on the hot seat? Whose seat is on fire? And the choices are Billy Napier, Garrett Riley, or Chris Ash. So Billy Napier, we've talked about a ton, and we're actually going to talk about a little more because our next Megaboard thread is on Florida. Garrett Riley is the offensive coordinator at Clemson. Other than the end of last year, in the seasons he's been the offensive coordinator at Clemson, has not gone as well as they would hope. So but there's some time. Chris Ash has coached 2 games at Notre Dame. 2 games. And they are ready to run him out of town.
So whose seat is on fire the most is Billy Napier. I mean, that's not even a question. It seems like an inevitability that he's finished, not that will he. Of course, you never know how seasons will play out, but with the information that we have right now, it seems highly unlikely he'll be the coach there next year. I don't know. I know this is a Notre Dame discussion, but I think we need to have, in order to have the full discussion, a real filled hearts discussion about what Texas A&M might be offensively this year.
I think so too. I think it's a very important part of the discussion, because did anybody hit on the receivers in the portal more than Texas A&M with Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion?
No.
Okay.
And they have a good offensive line, a quarterback,
and Marcel Reed is better than we thought.
And then, by the way, the name that no one ever talks about is the running back. Le'Veon Moss is a dog, dude. He is a really, really good running back. So if they put things together there, it's conceivable that Texas A&M could have a top 5 offense in America this year. I went
on part of my take, and they were asking for Heisman predictions, and who should they, because they're looking for a high odds Heisman choice. And it unfortunately, after Saturday, his odds have gone down because everybody saw it. But Marcel Reed was that guy. Where
did you say Marcel Reed? Did you say Marcel Reed on part of my take before Saturday?
No, I didn't. But they were. The problem is there's not because it's John Mateer, and it's the numbers are starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
But Marcel Reed is still far down the list. Probably not as of later this week, but he's still a ways down the list in terms of odds. Marcel Reed could be one of the best quarterbacks in college football this year. I don't think this was so. This is a long way of saying I don't necessarily think this was Notre Dame's defense stinking. I think Notre Dame's defense is probably okay, maybe not as good as last year, but I think Texas A&M may do that to a lot of people.
What do we know? I don't know if the stats are on this, but high leverage, high quality games between 2 capable offenses in the playoff often look like that game.
Yes.
I feel like if you want to
Alabama Clemson national title game.
Yes.
Both years.
So there are overreactions to how can we give up 41 points to A&M at home? When you say it with that tone, it sounds terrible. But how many teams in the last 10 years, and I'm just speaking, I have no memory of anything, this, have made it to the national championship game without having to score 40 when another team scores 35? I bet it's very rare. So, from that standpoint, it's Notre Dame had a rough outing for sure. But Notre Dame played a team that could potentially be in the playoff. So before we is Chris Ash going to get fired? Let's just try to fast forward 6 weeks down the road when Notre Dame is 6-2 and number 9 in the polls. That's what's coming. And I think that if A&M is, 500 at that point, then you'd be like, oh my God. But A&M might be number 4 in the polls in 6 weeks. So
I don't think that's going to happen. And the other thing I think we're going to find impressive after a while is that Notre Dame, with its quarterback starting his second game ever, scored 40 on Texas A&M's defense.
Do you want to hear another Notre Dame Ari Wasserman Miss Cleo prediction?
Hold on. Let's go back to last year, because this is Megaboard Wednesday. Well, last year it was Saucy Take Wednesday, and one of your saucy takes was Notre Dame. This is after the Northern Illinois game. One of your saucy takes was Notre Dame's going to run the table.
Yeah.
Here's the clip. All right, Ari. Take number 2.
I'm going to fire this one off into the universe here. Notre Dame is still going to make the playoff this year.
Oh, you're not giving. Okay. Before I let you go on, how much of this is just you are a little hurt that we got popped onto freezing cold takes after they lost to NIU, and you want to double down and have a moment where we can say, "See, freezing cold takes, we weren't wrong."
If Notre Dame runs the table and makes the playoff, do we freezing cold takes? Or were we just permanently wrong because we said undefeated? Because we're wrong.
We were wrong, but yes, I do think, and we've had him on the old show. I think I can text him. I think we'd agree that we can freezing cold takes.
We didn't. We should. I forgot about that. We should go back and freezing cold takes because he freezing.
Well, I mean, he's got so much ammo on us with the quarterback lists.
I know, and he's been taunting us too.
Well, he's got a book coming out next year about college football, so I think we're going to be pretty prominently featured. Now, Fred Siegel is a Florida guy, so he's paying attention.
Yeah,
to the DJ Lagway discourse.
I love when you play old clips of me too. Like my face, I'm so much more handsome now than I was a year ago. It's incredible. I can't wait to do this.
The jawline is immaculate. Yeah.
No, but here's my actual. I don't know if I'm going to go out on a limb in the same way that I did last year, but here's how the season is going to play out to me. Notre Dame is probably going to be 10-2. And I think Miami and A&M are also going to be in the playoff mix. And I think it's conceivable that all the discourse about Notre Dame losing their only 2 games against the quality opponents that they have is going to turn into Notre Dame played 2 of the top 5 teams in America down to the wire. And that's going to get them in. I think that's
also if USC's really good and they beat USC, that's a feather in the cap too. So
right.
USC is playing really well right now.
If you're down in the dumps as a Notre Dame fan, rightfully so, you didn't want to start 0-2, especially coming off of a year where you played the national championship. You want to build off that. You want that to be consistent and not a flash in the pan. I get it. But if you're a Notre Dame fan who feels like your team is cooked, you are far from cooked. I think they're a very good team. I don't know if I would say that they're a top, 10 team at the moment because, as we're discussing with where they were ranked this week, they haven't won a game yet, and it's hard to get perspective on that. But if we know anything about Notre Dame, it's that they're probably much better than most teams on their schedule. USC, I still think, and maybe we'll have a segment this week of those fringe teams, those fringe teams that may be good, but we might not be. A&M's in there, USC's in there, Georgia Tech's in there. There's a lot of them. We were listing them the other day. But Notre Dame's got plenty of opportunity here. Arkansas has looked much better than we thought they were going to be. Maybe they are much better. I don't know where it's going to manifest, but if Notre Dame is 10-2, gun to head right now, I think they're going to get in if they do it again.
I also think USC is going to wind up being good this year. So if you can beat USC, which is not going to be an easy thing for Notre Dame to do, but if they can beat them, I think that is going to probably carry it along with the fact that they were in the mix with 2 teams that we think are going to be playoff contenders, if not playoff participants. So, yeah, I think you're in good shape. I did want to play this clip from Marcus Freeman because I remember watching him last year after NIU, and I will say he gave me confidence after the NIU loss that they get it figured out. I got the same vibe off of him this year. This is Marcus Freeman being asked if he needs to spend more time with the defense.
As you evaluate that, do you feel like you need to spend more time on the defensive side given your background? I think more importantly, like as a head coach, it's as a leader, it's important to wear the hat that's necessary in that moment, no matter if it's offense, defense, special teams, recruiting, anything, right? It's being able to put on the hat that's necessary at this moment. I spend a lot of time with our defense. That's obviously where my background is, and I'll continuously do it. Will I spend more time? Maybe. You know, if that's what's necessary, I will. I'll spend more time there. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that we improve and we have a performance that we believe is the standard of Notre Dame football.
So I don't know. I just he has that adult in the room vibe that kind of, you know, reassures you. Producer River says, "Is the new Notre Dame logo cursed?" Which, by the way, was a message board thread. Was a message board thread. It wasn't about the logo itself. It was about putting Marcus Freeman in the logo, where somebody basically said, and they posted a picture of him in an older Q-zip, and they're like, "If we put him back in this, we're going undefeated."
You know, so just so I understand this, because we haven't had a discussion about this logo on the show, and I think we dropped the ball on that. The logo on that the coach behind him is wearing, and I can't see who that coach is. I think I know who it is, but you know, the old one where the leprechaun
where the leprechaun is putting up his dukes. Yeah, he's ready to fight. This leprechaun looks like he's ready to run.
That's still the official Notre Dame logo. The one with the leprechaun with the football is just a football logo. Am I correct?
I think so, yeah.
The leprechaun squaring up is one of the most iconic logos in the history of sports.
Yeah.
I think there's certain things that you just don't mess with.
What they're doing is they're trying to copy the Oklahoma State Pistol Pete, where they had the Pistol Pete for all the different sports, where there's like Pistol Pete swinging a golf club and Pistol Pete in a wrestling singlet. So that's what this is. But yeah, the leprechaun squaring up is the logo. You're the fighting Irish. You're not the running Irish.
I think it is the epitome. It is the perfect logo. I think it might be the best logo in all of sports. And like the fact that you have that at your disposal, and then we're getting the leprechaun with the football. It's like, yeah, that might be a cool, like, alternate logo. But like, if I were the head coach of Notre Dame, the only thing I would be wearing at all times would be that one. The one with the old leprechaun squaring up, right? Am I wrong?
That's right. Have at thee.
They're 0-2 since they brought the other one out. It's just something to think about. Also, they
ceremonial
made his
burning
arms and legs thicker. I think that the other thing about the other logo that's better, and if you flash it one more time, is that like his limbs are thin in that picture, because like Irish people aren't that big to begin with, right? And you like that like tough guy. I don't care how big or strong or fast you are.
I mean, the leprechaun. I don't care if the leprechaun has heavy squat day every once in a while. That doesn't bother me. You're never supposed to skip leg day. But
look at the circumference of his arms in the old logo and the new logo. It's different. Like he's
he's super roided up now.
I don't like that.
I don't know. He might be on gear. Yeah, get him off gear.
National championship. You get one national championship game appearance, and now your logo's buff. Like, get out of here.
All right. So Notre Dame, to sum up, don't freak out. Your defense is probably not that bad. Be happy. Your offense is probably good. The rest of your schedule is not so bad that winning 10 in a row won't get you in the playoff. Dump the running Irish logo. You're the freaking fighting Irish. That about sum it up? All right.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Moving on to yet another Megaboard post. This one comes from our friend Zach Albaverdi, who works for Gators Online and one of the reporters at Gators Online. He posted his story about Jabbar Jalouk, Florida's running back coach, getting suspended for 3 games because of his role in a pregame altercation before the Florida LSU game. The comments on this sucker are hilarious because, needless to say, the Florida fan base not getting that worked up about losing a running backs coach, but essentially trying to figure out what it means for Billy Napier as they go into the Miami game. Mercy Percy 8520 says, can we fire Napier for cause because of this? And you're going to laugh at that. Somebody asked me that this morning in Gainesville. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Other people are like, can the head coach serve the suspension for the assistant coach? Is that allowed? So if you're wondering how things are going for Billy Napier, that's how things are going for Billy Napier.
Yeah. There was a lot of bad Billy Napier jokes on the internet this week. We saw a few that like pushed the line of, at least this one's good fun. What did he do, Andy? I don't even know what he did.
I don't know exactly. So I got a text before the game started from someone who also wasn't at the game who said, I heard from people at the LSU game that Jabbar Jalouk put his hands on an LSU player. And
Don't do it.
I passed that along to the people who were there, but nobody could find out any specific information. And what we got was the suspension from the SEC on Tuesday. So I have not seen video of anything yet. It was in that fracas because the TV cameras caught a piece of that fracas.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I don't think they caught the specific moment that they're talking about. But there's cameras all over the stadium. So
rule of thumb, dude. Don't touch players if you're a coach, especially if they're not on your team.
It's the only thing.
Yeah.
Especially before you're like, there's a different, maybe on the sideline when you have a late hit on the sideline, you're just trying to get everybody off the sideline.
Yeah.
You can step into something or step between some people at that point.
Or if you're a coach and you're the adult and you see your player fighting with another player, I think it's appropriate to get between them and push them away from each other.
Correct. Which is actually that's probably the right thing to do. As long as you're not swinging, you actually put yourself at risk in that case.
But if you're just in good faith trying to stop a fight, you're de-escalating violence. You're not inciting it. I think that's yes. General rule of thumb, I guess we can call it the Woody Hayes rule. Yeah, is don't touch another team's player. Is a pretty easy one to follow, or to try to follow. Certainly, do not strike one in the throat. That is what Woody Hayes did. Yes. Yeah. And that tells you a lot about Woody Hayes because that dude's in full gear and Woody Hayes is not, and he's just like, I'm going to punch you in the throat. Like, I don't care. Talk about, and I know that football is different now. You want to talk about being in a game. We just got done talking about the emotions of Brian Kelly after a game. You want to talk about losing yourself and going temporarily insane in a moment where you don't even know where you are. You're so focused in that game, you lose your mind like that man did. He was fired the next morning by Ohio State. The next morning. It was crazy. Yeah. So, and if anybody did that now, they'd be fired the next morning. There's no in the middle of a game. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Jabbar Jalouk probably lucky that it's a 3-game suspension, and we'll see what happens because we don't know what's going to happen with Florida. I still think, and I know I picked Miami to cover in this game, but because when I was on PMT, Big Cat asked me if there was a potential quit situation with Florida. And I said the one thing they probably will not do is quit because they didn't last year when it seemed like all was lost. I don't think they're going to quit on Billy Napier. I do think that these players want to play for him. So that doesn't mean that Miami might not beat them the same way Miami beat them last year. And if that happens, then I think Florida's administration has to make a decision about the rest of the season because you could have some serious apathy going on. Yep. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to quit. I think they're going to try, which means this is a 7.5 point spread. You could see a fairly close game. And I wouldn't be shocked if you did. Yeah. And you also could just watch a rerun of the LSU game too, where the score's 24-10 or 20-10 or 24-14, where it wasn't really that close, even though the score was. So we'll see how it maps out. But I actually got into a debate with some friends on a group text the other day. 2 of my closest friends are Jets fans, and I've grown up with the abuse of following the Cleveland Browns. And we were arguing about what was worse, constantly letting your fan base down or getting to a point where your fan base doesn't have a reason to watch. And I think that apathy is the enemy of sports because the entire reason why sports exists is because it gives us something to get excited about. It gives us something to watch, something to be entertained by. And Florida, I'll give them credit, last year could have gone into this darkness. And like Miami fans are familiar with this. Like, I mean, it's like, what's the point of
they were
even
trending toward apathy for a while. And
So-
they're out of that now. So
And I think that if Miami beats the crap out of Florida, it's going to be kind of hard to save Florida fans from being apathetic. So this is a pretty big game for Florida in the sense of like, if you want to keep your team together, you want to keep your fans bought in, you want to give your team and your coach hope, like you have to come out and try to win this football game and at least be in it. Like the
Yeah,
good
you gotta
news
show
for
a
them is
pulse.
they've only lost one SEC game, so this isn't going to kill their season. I mean, I don't know if they lost their third game, it might, but they still technically would be competitive moving forward in the SEC if they were to turn it around. But if they get their doors blown off here, it's over, man. They
well,
cannot
and the
get
other
their
thing
doors
is
blown off.
look at the rest of the schedule. They get the week off after Miami, but it's Texas at Texas A&M. Mississippi State is better. I mean, watch them beat Arizona State. Georgia. They go to Kentucky. They go to Ole Miss, and then Tennessee and Florida. Like, it does not get any easier. Like it's hard the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I really don't know how it goes because I think what happens to Billy Napier is dependent on a little bit of the how with these games. Now, obviously, if he wins them, great. He still has the chance, the ever so slim chance of going on a miracle run. But given that schedule, I don't see it. So
You know,
then
I
it
think if
just
they come
becomes a
out and
matter
they
of when.
beat Miami, I don't think that's going to happen. But if they beat Miami, you might, if you're a Florida fan, be like, okay, I'm back in on this.
If you can beat this Miami team, I think it means you can compete with the other teams on your schedule.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you lose close to them, or if you beat them and then lose close to like 4 more of the other teams on your schedule, that's still not the point. That's still not the job.
Yeah.
The job is not to be average. The job is not to be 500. So
Yeah. I just meant for like going into next week, you might have an extra pep in your step. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but you're right. 9-3 isn't the job. We have to remind ourselves that 9-3, 8-4 last year.
9-3 at this point would be maybe okay, maybe enough because you have to go 9-1 the rest of the way. But I'm sorry,
And then
8-1 the rest of the way.
If you go 9-3 this year, 9-3 will not be enough next year. Like you have, like, we're building to something that's not 9-3 is the point.
Yeah, 7-5, probably 8-4, definitely 6-6 is not good enough. It's simply not good enough. And that's the part that you got to. This is year 4. Like you could get away with that if you'd had a good year, but he's not even had one good year. He's just been meh the entire time. So you either blow the doors off the rest of the way, or you are a 500 coach and 4 years of 500 ball ain't going to cut it.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens, but I am fascinated by that. Jabbar Jalouk will not be there, nor will he be there for the Texas or Texas A&M games. So if they made a move, that is a potential interim probably off the board. So maybe adjust your schedule for that. So we'll see. But Ari, Brett McMurphy coming back with trivia. You beat me last time. I can't let this happen again. I cannot. I don't care if I'm beating you in the picks. This is my thing.
Want
I need
to
to
trade
win this.
I'd much rather beat you.
No, I want to beat you at everything.
Yeah.
I want to beat you at everything. So let's go. It's time for me to make a comeback. Here's Brett with more trivia.
Okay, guys, back with trivia. Andy leads the season-long contest 9-7. Ari closed the gap last week. 2 weeks ago, this may have been a surprise, Auburn entered the AP rankings last week. It ended a 4-year drought for the Tigers without being ranked. That was the 10th longest drought among Power 4 conference schools. So with Auburn getting into the top 25, what I'm looking for is the 9 Power Conference schools with the longest droughts not being ranked in the top 25. Bonus point if you get the longest streak school. And Ari, since you're still trailing, you can go first. Take an answer, then Andy takes a shot and just alternate.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Because I think I read something about this, and I don't want to be cheating. But did like Texas Tech break us? Wasn't Texas Tech like on a huge drought and they broke it?
They're not in the top. They're not in the top 10. They may have been in a huge drought.
I am shocked by that Auburn one. Like now,
they had not been ranked since 2021. It was the 10th longest drought. So all of these guys have not been ranked since at least 2021.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because like my mind's still blown from the Auburn thing, so I'm trying to figure out who this could be. Can I? All right. So Ari starting off. Yeah. You go first.
We're just thinking about programs that haven't been good in a long time. I'll say Purdue.
Yes, Purdue's actually 9th since 2021.
I was right because I couldn't remember when they played in the Big Ten championship game with Braum. But all right, I'm going to stay in the Big Ten. I'm going to say Northwestern.
They are 7th. Yes.
Dang.
Ari?
Big Ten, Rutgers.
Number 1.
Oh, you get the bonus point.
You guys want to guess what year Rutgers was last ranked?
Oh man.
When did Schiano leave for the Bucks?
Yeah, Schiano, was it like 2011 or 10 or 12?
2012. Nice guess. All right.
Wow,
They have not been ranked in 2004 consecutive AP polls.
So we've got 3 of these, and they're all Big Ten teams.
Correct.
And now Vanderbilt's been ranked fairly recently, so that's out.
Yeah, actually, Vanderbilt wasn't even in the top 10 when they got ranked this week. So they've been ranked before 2021.
Oh my God, this is hard.
I'll give you a hint. We got 6 left. Again, Power 4 conference schools. Right. We're representing each power conference except for the SEC.
Okay. All right.
So these remaining 6 teams are all from the.
All right, let me hit the ACC.
Big 10 or Big 12.
How about Boston College?
Actually, no. They have been ranked since 2021.
So the thing that I love about Brett is that he is right in my wheelhouse because I covered the Big Ten during these droughts.
Oh, there's more.
There's no way Maryland's not on this list, right?
Number 4, Ari. Yeah. Wow. Wow, we could have a new leader after.
I'm struggling here. You got to scrape the bottom of the Big Ten first, and then move on from there. Because the ACC is dysfunctionally like. Didn't they have like the ACC Coastal had like a different team win it, and all
that's true.
That's true.
Like the ACC.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one that's in the Big Ten now, but wouldn't have been in the Big Ten in the entirety of the streak. UCLA.
No, they have been ranked since.
Come
on. So we got 5 left. You guys want another hint or not?
Don't give Ari another hint. He's already beating me.
Okay, I'll give Andy a hint after Ari guesses.
Stanford.
Number 3, Ari. This is your producer River threw that out to me, and I didn't use it because I'm an idiot. So
you're cheating? I didn't even see that. You're cheating?
He threw it to you too. You just never read our group text. So
we're podcasting.
I think we're learning something here. Ari does very well on things that aren't successful. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm good at
that. Okay, Andy, here's your hint. We've got 4 schools left.
Mm-hmm.
They are either from the ACC or the Big 12.
Okay. All right. Dang it. This is so hard. You know who I don't think's been ranked in a while? No, shoot, they have. Oh, Virginia.
There you go, Andy. Coming back. They are.
Didn't Virginia have a team a few years ago? I thought Virginia got ranked a few years ago.
2019. No? They're 6th on the list.
We're just getting old. I'm just like, can I Google like ACC team just to visualize it, or is that cheating?
Yes, you can Google the list of teams. Absolutely. There's 17 of them.
There's like 85 now, so we don't know who's in the league.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at the list. I'll say Cal.
Number 5.
That was going to be my next guess because I was looking at the current AP Top 25 to see if Cal was ranked now because they're 3-0 and they might be ranked pretty soon.
Cal could get off the list. They had the 5th longest. So now we're looking at the 2nd longest streak and the 8th longest streak. Oh, one from the Big 12, one from the ACC.
Leipold's gotten Kansas into the rankings. I think.
I know who it is. So you're on the ropes. I know who it is.
Shoot. I mean, Oklahoma State's been ranked more recently than any of this because they played for the Big 12 championship a couple years ago.
You actually think it through, you'll get it. And if you don't, and then I get it, you're going to be upset. Like it's right in front. It's hanging right in front of your face.
West Virginia.
Yep.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Nice job, Andy. 2018.
Wow. So Dana's last year is the last time they were ranked. The Will Greer team. That is a long time.
I think a good litmus test for the way I've been thinking about this are teams that have recently replaced coaches too. Like, is a pretty good place to start.
Yeah. So we have one more.
We've got the 8th longest current streak. Ari, you are up.
And it's what conference is it?
ACC.
Okay, I'm looking at the whole list here, and the only one that hasn't been ranked in that hasn't been guessed yet, and it has to be Virginia Tech then, right?
It is Virginia Tech. 2021.
Because we guessed all the other ones. That wasn't fair.
See, they were a trendy pick early last season, so I didn't know if they were in the preseason poll, but then they lost to Vandy right out of the gate, so they weren't ranked. But
you guessed BC. We knew Syracuse got ranked last year. Pitt was ranked last year.
I wasn't going to guess Wake because the Dave Clawson teams were very good. So
and Wake was pretty good. Stanford was already guessed, so that was the process of elimination.
So of all those teams we just rattled off, I think Cal is probably the only one that potentially could be ranked. Although you look at Rutgers could maybe get to 5-0 possibly, and maybe in the longest streak. I don't know. The rest of them, I don't give up much hope.
Yeah. That's so. It's 2012 for Rutgers.
That's a long time. So now the updated scoreboard. Wow, talk about a fourth quarter comeback. Wow. Ari wins this round 7-3. Updated standings.
This is going reverse on our show, Andy. You're killing me in gambling picks, and I'm beating you in trivia. And it's like
exactly
not the way.
So you know what this means is I'm going to have another good week with the picks. Yeah.
Ari's ahead 14-10, and Ari, I'm glad that you're wearing black. I figured because you're in mourning because of all your bad gambling picks that you can read.
Oh, it's been bad.
I got to tell you, boys. After this, though, I am going to be so locked into Rutgers, Iowa. From Piscataway.
Isn't Rutgers only like a 2.5-point dog in that game? They're like it's less than 3. So
well, Iowa's not been lighting the world on fire offensively, so except against UMass.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe Greg Schiano brings it.
I think they've got to beat Iowa and probably win at Minnesota to get ranked. The 5-0 part you said, I think that works.
Because then you'll have other teams in front of them that are ranked lose, and then I won't name names. People looking at their AP ballot will just randomly just put a undefeated team on their ballot.
Hey,
if they actually
I got to jump in here. I have to jump in here. One thing, because I know Brett's got to go. I've got to say it. I don't know if you look at TikTok or things, but ever since the person from the OC Register had their bad ballot last week, like there was like a trend now, like looking and scouring through, and and there were some people mad at you for ranking Notre Dame 15 at 0-2. Do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I think Notre Dame gets the benefit of the doubt. They've lost 2 games by a total of 4 points to teams that are in the top 10. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt. They lost on the last play of the game. And I'm not the big power rating guy, but I think Notre Dame would not be 0-2 if they would have played any of the other schedules that anybody else in the top 25 would have played. Now, if Notre Dame comes out and isn't impressive against Purdue, I'll drop them further. I'm not simply going to keep them there the rest of the year. But again, after 2 games, I think they get the benefit of the doubt. I dropped Clemson out. They're 1-2. They have 2 close losses. But you know what? I saw them play a 3rd game against Troy. They were not impressive at all. They were fortunate to win. So that's why Clemson's not ranked and why Notre Dame is. But I know a lot of people have a problem with that. But that's cool.
Brett, that's
by the way,
answer.
somebody ranked South Carolina number 10 this week and didn't rank them. So you guys can research and find out who that.
I'm going to tell you right now, your answer's wrong. The correct answer is always, I don't want to get too deep into my process or logic. That is the correct answer.
Exactly.
So you just went very deep into your process.
By the way, Ari, I've ranked them 7 out of the last 10 weeks. So screw you.
Brett, thank you so much. Thank you for going into your process and your logic, and for making Ari feel better about me smoking him in the picks, because he's now beating me in trivia, which I will ultimately beat him in this year. I have no doubt. We will see you on another Message Board Megaboard Wednesday.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, guys.